Hello and happy Friday, everybody. We're back here, RCO Network, live on a Friday at the noon hour. Always running late, never on time. So if you logged in at 12, sorry, it's what it is. So with me today, we have a very special guest. And coincidental, I want to know more about crypto and currencies and all these other assets that are just very unfamiliar. So I asked Miss Lori Souza to join us today. Hello, Miss Lori.
Hello, Robert. Thanks for having me.
We try. You seem to be quite the popular one. Maria Brandenburg from Great American Title. She told me that you were offering a crypto class, and I'm like, holy shit, invite her in.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this Bitcoin stuff. It's time to pull up our Bitcoin panties and really embrace what it is to be in cryptocurrency.
Exactly.
So you have the floor. What is this whole crypto thing mean?
Well, thank you. I just taught a class on digital currencies and the differences between all the digital currencies this week. And so what's the big deal with crypto, right? And Bitcoin. If you think about in terms of our money, we're in an inflationary economy right now. And so we do know that Bitcoin has been classified as money in the U.S. back in July of 2020. Did you know that?
I had no idea. It's classified as a currency?
It's classified as money, not currency.
Oh.
And so what that does is it gives banks the permission to be a custodial holder for for all the individuals, or let's say all the institutions that are getting into it right now. So that's a big deal. And
so you're talking about a digital wallet where somebody can transfer their digital wallet to like a conventional bank, or is that what that means? Or?
Well, right now,
I'm pretty ignorant. So.
No, everything is new. I'll tell you what, as an entrepreneur, and your listeners are entrepreneurs, this is a great industry for people to get into right now and start building their businesses, because we are going to see a change in the economy with this digital money. What we see here is think back when Uber started, right?
Oh yeah.
What did you say? Did you ever say, "Oh, I'm never going to get in a stranger's car"?
That was my first inclination. I'm like, that's so weird.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that. You get into taxis, but that guy has like some sort of license, right? And he's got a yellow car at least.
Right. And so think about the Airbnb. Same thing. Oh, I'm never going to stay at somebody else's house, right?
I'm still skeptical about staying at somebody else's house. I really worry about those mattresses. Just saying, but I've used them. So sorry.
Well, so those are examples of how our economy has changed to be more of a social or more of an on-the-ground economy, I like to call it, because it's disrupted the taxi industry. Uber did. Airbnb disrupted the hotel industry, and guess what? Bitcoin is disrupting the money industry.
Well, do you think people are worried that it's? So the biggest pill for me to swallow is like, what the hell is it?
Yeah, what is it?
And the equivalent I gave, which my brother hates, but the equivalent I gave is like, if you play, I don't know do you play Clash of Clans? It's
is
a
that
game.
A video game?
Yeah, it's a stupid little iPad game that I play. But you go and you spend money on like these little green gems, right?
Oh.
And you use these green gems to help your little builders build faster. You build the bigger structures, but you have to buy the gems in dollars in order to have, so you pay $10 for 3,000 gems.
Okay.
And then you use those to go and help your builder build the thing. So it's a stupid game, and it's really a waste of effing money, because I cannot leverage on my green coins outside of Clash of Clans.
Okay. Well, I can take Bitcoin and I can go to Starbucks and get a coffee.
I
don't have to go to a video game.
No?
Yeah, so actually I can get a debit card, and I can transfer my dollars into Bitcoin. If I want to use my debit card and it acts as a prepaid, then I can transfer my Bitcoin back into dollars onto my prepaid card. So there's several platforms that are supporting this, and there's several businesses that accept Bitcoin now. There's even a Bitcoin map that shows you, wow, who's all around the U.S. or around the world is accepting Bitcoin right now. So there's so many platforms, so many businesses getting started around this industry. And what is it exactly was your question. It's digital cash. So think back when Amazon or any of the online stores were created, everybody said, wow, who wants to buy anything online, right?
I was the same one too.
Guess what?
I'm old school, man.
Now everybody's buying online. But at that point, they were trying to the technologists were trying to create digital cash in tandem with the digital store, because that made sense. Just like your video game, you're going to buy the green gems to get your little
my little doodler guy to work faster.
So same with digital cash. You're going to use it to buy your online items. Well, now everything is digital. Even how many people carry cash around in their hands? Not too many, especially if you're 25 and under. And
depends on what store you're going to.
Well, and I'll tell you what, COVID has really set up this digital economy to really, we've seen Bitcoin increase substantially since the beginning of COVID. And what's happened is people are getting used to using QR codes. What was a QR code back in 2015? Nobody knew, right? But you go to a restaurant now, they don't even give you a menu. You have to scan the QR code to get the menu. Well, guess what? You scan the QR code to get money. And that's the technology that Bitcoin uses. So you can transfer. I could transfer $5 to you. We could. It would take like 5 minutes, and I could send you $5.
I'll take 5 Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah, so will I. Any day.
Just tested you.
And so it's an interesting time. And when we look at what's happening with the U.S. dollar and the unlimited printing of the dollar. It's causing severe inflation. We've had over 50% inflation on most goods and services in the last, 6, 7, 8 months alone. And so really, I mean, what's the price of gas today, right? It's almost $5 a gallon where we are.
Do you think it goes to that basic inherent need for certainty in somebody's life? I mean, with the dollar and things going, crazy as far as inflation goes, I mean, people seek out certainty, and really with Bitcoin, and at least from my perspective too, it offers that sense of certainty. It's recognized at least as a currency, and people use it as money. Yeah. But the sense of certainty comes that nobody can manipulate it.
Well, because there's no central authority with Bitcoin, and that's what's scary.
And governments don't like that.
Governments don't like it, but people are used to banks taking care of their money for them. People are used to that. So that's the security, and maybe it's a false security. I don't know about you, but I lived and worked as a real estate broker during the downturn of 2007, 8, 9, all the way to 12, right?
Lori does real estate, by the way. We'll get to that later, so just a side note.
But think about that. How many banks closed their doors during that time? Yeah. We had over 1,500 banks in the U.S. close their doors. And so people do want certainty, but back then, they didn't even know that their notes were foreclosing on their homes.
Well, and to that point, it's like you want some place to park your money, quote unquote, whatever that is, because I mean, $1 is really debt anyway. But you want a place to store what you feel is valuable and not be manipulated and not be taken away. I'm looking at my stocks today. I mean, if anybody's watching the stocks last couple of days, it's like horrible. And I'm inclined to look and see where I'm at now, but it's like, I think within one day I'm down like 15%.
Yeah, well,
it's just horrible. And people want that certainty. I'm like, hey, my Bitcoin is the same as it was yesterday. It hasn't really moved, but there is some volatility there too.
Sorry, Robert, but it did go down today.
Oh yeah, that's it.
So right now, and I have something to say about that. Yeah. The certainty about digital asset. Think of it as digital gold. Gold is classified as a commodity. Well, Bitcoin is a digital commodity. It's a crypto commodity per the SEC. So when it's classified as a commodity, there's more certainty, or we can look at it long-term as a store of value for future value. So you might not think that it's worth anything or you can use anything for it now, but as things go and hit mainstream, we have more certainty, more stability. We're in early adoption right now. So people are getting the idea of, oh, wow, this is like a reserve. So as the dollar continues to inflate, well, then now I get to actually invest my money into something that is going to provide future value. It's only going to go up in value because it has a deflationary measure. It's a limited supply. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. And already
I'm still waiting for my 5.
So already 18.7 million have been minted or burned. Yeah. When I say that, that's because it's through a digital program. And when we say there's no central authority, it's decentralized, just like Airbnb, just like Uber, decentralized. The people are the ones that are running the money.
Yeah. And so, and that's the interesting point, and just as we're here in RCO Network, a lot of us who are venturing into entrepreneurial things and aspects of what we're trying to do, we're trying to gather as much as we can. I mean, we're limited sometimes as starting a business or in a business to borrow money. Just because, sometimes, and I see this over and over again with some of you guys out there, they underreport their revenue and they overreport their expenses so that they pay zero taxes,
Yeah.
But you can't buy anything. You can't. The real thing, I think, is leveraging off debt. So you can't borrow money, and you can't buy a house because obviously you got to make money to purchase a house.
You do. Well,
at least on paper.
And guess what? There's even companies that are coming out where you can loan your crypto. You get a loan against your crypto. Right now, you can buy a house on your crypto. So if you did buy crypto back in the day, a lot of it, you can get a substantial amount of money from the crypto lenders. And buy a house with it.
And that's awesome. Did I mention that Lori is a certified blockchain advisor? How do you get that certification, by the way?
So I went to school a couple years ago. Actually, I learned about Bitcoin back in 2016. And a friend of mine, his name was Morpheus.
Was that his real name, or is that like his...
Told me about it and said...
Red pill or blue pill?
Oh, you know what? No, it's a whole different pill. It's an orange pill. The Bitcoin is the orange pill.
We don't have to get into your personal situation, Lori.
No, I'll tell you what.
Whatever you do on the side, we're here to talk about money.
I like to call it entrepreneurial money because when you understand that this is an alternative asset that we can invest in, it's going to have future value, and it's up to the individuals to use the money. 2 countries have already adopted it as legal tender. We have El Salvador, and just last week it was the Central African Authority that we...
Oh, really?
Yeah, a republic, sorry. Central African Republic. So there's 2 countries already. So we're going to see that follow suit in countries that don't have such stable currency like Venezuela, Argentina, Brazil, Costa Rica. We're going to see Turkey. A lot of countries are already transacting in Bitcoin.
Yeah, and really, I think value is in terms of ownership. So obviously, the more you own, and the things that make sense to somebody like me, who's somewhat of a layman. I mean, I know a little bit because we do the show, and then my brother does follow up and pushes crypto on me too. The tangible aspects of owning assets. So like real estate is a tangible asset. A car to a certain extent is an asset depending on how you use it. If you use it for business, there's certain things out there. You can use yachts. You can use art for instance as an asset. But all this stuff, and you said you had 5 different classes of digital currency digital currencies. There's 5. You could explain each one. We won't go in detail, but tangibly, the things that make sense for most people is like I can use my $100 and buy XYZ.
Excellent. Well, ask the scientist who has patents, and that's how he makes his money. Is that
Patents,
tangible?
Yeah.
It's intangible.
So
a patent is an idea, right? Yeah. And so he makes his money off his patents, which is documented on a piece of paper. Well, that's the same thing with Bitcoin. It's a patent.
Yeah.
It's documented on a piece of paper called a white paper. And so this technology came out the same time as the last recession. Yeah. In 2009, we had technologists that said, no more. We're not going to let the central authorities close their doors or give us loans that don't make sense and don't explain it. We're going to take more control. We're going to take our power back. Yeah. So that's what entrepreneurs do, right? We take our power back. So with that idea in mind, it's a peer-to-peer digital payment system. So I can make a payment to you, and whoever uses this ecosystem will thrive. We don't have to rely on anybody else to take care of our finances or how much we're going to make in the future or our future wealth. We get to create that in these different cryptocurrency ecosystems.
Yeah, and like we were talking before the show, we talked about certainty, and I want to be able to, and I think most people out there, they want to put their money, whatever they make, put their money into some sort of asset that can grow and make more money. And so most people, the Douglas small town side of me who listens to his dad, hey, you got to put your money into the savings account, son.
Well,
you get almost a half point, return on your investment there.
Oh yeah.
Don't worry about inflation, son, but you can make some money when you put your money in a savings account. And like that's small town mindedness. And like in the reality, the different, you have to think more globally, a little bit bigger, broader, and see the effects of just parking your money in a savings account. But again, the small town side of me just wants to buy something and have it grow in value.
Right.
And so later on, I can sell it and make money off of it.
Exactly. Or live off of it so you don't have to work so hard, right?
Yeah.
You read that book, The 4-Hour Work Week? Well, this is an investment that can make that happen for so many people. My grandmother used to say that back in the 70s, just put your money in the savings account. Back then, the banks were offering 7 and 8% interest, so it made sense, right? That's why he's asked.
We also had like 20% mortgage rates too.
Right. So I think that was in the late 80s, or mid 80s when that was. But my grandmother built her wealth off a savings account that was offered by the central banking authorities, but that's no longer. So now we're decentralizing. So it's a parallel financial system using financial technology, and so we don't need a middleman. And that's what it does. It cuts out the cost of the middleman. You don't need a broker. Yeah. You don't need financial. Well, a lot of people still want financial advisors to tell them what to do with their money.
I think it's, I honestly, I don't know if Frank's listening. He might. I think it's somebody to kind of blame when things go wrong. You're like, hey, I gave all my money to my financial advisor, and they screwed it up. You know, he's fired. It's his fault. People don't. It's hard, I think, for some people to accept responsibility. I think for their own.
It is. So. And so when you're in an entrepreneurial network like this, then you tend to have a lot more people that understand this is, I like to say it's the people's money, but it's on the ground economics because it makes sense. You don't have to pay those extra fees. I mean, in my bank accounts, I have a couple of businesses, and every month $15 comes out. Well, and they continue to increase the minimum amount that you need in your account. So I'm thinking I'm going to have to switch banks. But all the banks are charging these fees now. So you don't get those fees when you keep them on a digital platform.
And so I think the other pill to swallow is like, well, what do I do? I'm interested in getting into crypto. What do I do? I want to buy a Bitcoin.
Well,
how much is a Bitcoin?
It's about
it's probably cheap.
36,000 right now.
It's probably cheap. So let's go take a look.
Which is low. A lot of people were hoping it would go up to about 40 or 50, 47 to 50 right now, but it's gone down a bit.
Would you say we're in a bull market for crypto?
Right now, it looks like we're in a slightly bearish market. Okay.
I'm sorry. I meant bearish.
And we might see it go down, but I want to tell everybody that's thinking, it's like, why would I invest in Bitcoin right now when it's going down? And I even just one person that I work with, I do some consulting to help people set up their crypto accounts. She said, "There's no way I'm putting money in something that's going down." And I said, why not? This is the best time to get into it.
It's on sale.
It's on sale. Okay, so
I obviously don't read Warren Buffett.
And the thing is, it's interesting what Warren Buffett thinks of Bitcoin. He said he wouldn't pay $25 for all the Bitcoin in the world right now. But anyway,
everybody has their opinion.
Everybody has their opinion. So I tend to be on the bearish side of things and conservative with my investments, but. I always ask people, what's a risk tolerance? Because it is volatile right now. Yeah. So you are going to be taking a loss if you invest right now, today, and you're going to see it go down a little bit more. But this is the test. The test is how many people have staying power? Because right now, institutions are buying it up left and right. We saw Grayscale, a lot of Fidelity Investments just announced that they're going to be handling crypto portfolios. We have Morgan Stanley that has a digital asset division right now. Yeah. All of these institutions are getting in while it's low, and they're wanting it to get lower so they can scoop up the rest of it. There's not much left, guys. We have this limited supply. So guess who's going to be the bank in the future? The people who have Bitcoin, because the banking system is changing. Anybody 25 and under, maybe even 30 and under, lived with technology their whole lives. So they're never walking into a bank. They don't see any use for it. They can do all their banking online on their phone, QR code, let me send you money, and we can do all this work online. Yeah.
And I do see conventional investors, tapping into Bitcoin, but it's usually a very small portion of their portfolio. So in my mind, that's just a recognition that it is volatile and it's like Vegas money. And Vegas money meaning it's not a gambling area. It's more like discretionary. I have this set aside to go below if I lose it all. That's what I call Vegas money. But in the difference between Bitcoin and Vegas is that you're actually investing in an asset versus just gambling it away, and you don't know it goes to some entity or the stripper that you decided to hire for the night. That's Vegas money. But when it comes to a Bitcoin, it's actually an asset. You can actually hold well, maybe not physically hold, but you can put a Bitcoin in your digital wallet and have it there for infinity until the computer system or the Terminator crisis happens.
And it's legal.
And it's legal.
What's nice is somebody doesn't have to buy a whole Bitcoin, Robert. They can buy a fraction. It's fractionalized money. So
I can't afford a Bitcoin.
in this technology, think about it. What's the smallest denomination of money right now? 0.01, 1 penny, right?
That's a penny.
So now we can fractionalize our money so more people can have more money around the world. So we can actually buy 0.0000125 Bitcoin. As long as you're converting your dollars into Bitcoin, you're actually storing up. It doesn't matter how much you're buying. There are some sources that say if you own 0.26 Bitcoin today, so 0.26 Bitcoin is about what, 10 grand right now.
No,
You will be a millionaire in the future. So
I better go. I got my Webull account if you guys want to sign on.
So there's no the promise is that we see it becoming legal tender in countries with volatile home currency, and so because we're in the U.S., we don't really see the rhyme or reason for it because the dollar is the most stable currency in the world. Well,
and I don't think it's necessarily stable. Is that you can touch it. You go to the bank and you can take out $1. You can take out $100 and it's in your hand. You can. It's about as real as this in my hand right now.
Here, that's nice.
I got $1 billion of fake $100 bills. But
perfect.
I mean, just
that's
I think,
exactly what they are. Fake. Fiat money. They're not backed.
Play money on there.
What does it say? What are they backed by?
Backed by play money.
Okay, so the dollar is backed by debt. So the more we borrow, the more that it's printed. So look at how much money people are borrowing right now. We have money being printed like crazy. In the last 2 years alone, we've had in the dollar system over $8 trillion be printed.
Yeah.
$8 trillion in 2 years since March of 2020. And so that's since the onset of COVID.
Yeah.
And so it's really changed the economy. It's changed our pricing. And when you look at the price of Bitcoin, it's done nothing but go up in the last 2 years.
Yeah, and I think again, it's that sense of certainty. When I go to the bank, I can remove $1. Where if I go to the bank and ask for a Bitcoin, it's like, we don't have that, sir. We can put it in your digital wallet, but we don't have an actual coin, and that really plays into, and we'll get into real estate in a second.
You're relying on another authority.
Exactly.
You can go get a Bitcoin. I can sell you Bitcoin right now. Anybody can give you Bitcoin right now.
I'm still waiting for my 5 Bitcoin. Lori, where's
have
my
you
Bitcoin,
noticed all the ATM machines that are going up? Remember when the first ATM machine came out in maybe you don't. In the 80s.
When I was your age,
way back in the 80s.
Back in the 1980s, you were just a speckle in your mom's uterus.
That's right. Well, pull up your Bitcoin panties, will you?
That's right.
There are Bitcoin ATM machines in a lot of Circle K's and a lot of the gas stations right now. You can go to the gas station and buy Bitcoins, and so people are a little nervous about it. Back when the first ATM machine came out, wow, how do I use this? Really? I can put a plastic card in the machine and they'll give me money? How does that happen? How can you get money out of a machine? I thought you had to go to the bank and get money. Yeah. Now there's this machine in the middle of a parking lot, and how does it give you money, right? So everybody's as technology continues to progress and every generation has a new technology, and that's what this is. This is financial technology. We don't need a bank to go in to get the money.
And to be brief, I use Webull as my brokerage account for my crypto. It's separate from my other accounts, and so I would say explore out there what types of brokerages are available to do that. And I do own some Bitcoin. I don't know a full Bitcoin.
Well, if you have it at Webull, you don't own your Bitcoin.
What?
Webull owns your Bitcoin.
Why? Why do you got to rain on my parade, Lori?
Well, part of it being the people's money or on the ground economics is you're taking care of your own money. Yeah. So you are allowing Webull to custody your Bitcoin. So as long as they are custodial
Isn't that every brokerage
holders, yes, as long as they're custodial holders, they're the ones that have your money. So the concept, and this is what people need to remember, the concept of owning Bitcoin is that you keep it in your wallet. It's kind of like the concept of gold. Do you have gold? Do you have silver?
I've heard that when I go out on a first date. Hey, son, keep it in your wallet, buddy.
Keep it in your wallet.
Keep it in your wallet.
That's right. You're going to need it.
I don't know what you're talking about, though.
We're
talking about Bitcoin.
It's not an asset until you're holding it.
I've heard that too. Anyway, so we're talking about Bitcoin. I did want to finish. So we're almost at the tail end. We got about 5 minutes left. Lori is in real estate herself, and we wanted to wrap up today's show a little bit about how crypto is affecting real estate and the connection to real estate.
Yeah.
The floor is yours.
Oh, there's so many things. There's so much going on. Okay, so I'm a speaker in the real estate and blockchain industry, and so it's growing as we speak. Why is it going to affect real estate? Because look at the prices of our properties. In the United States, in Phoenix alone, okay, we've had values go up almost 50%, if not 57% in some areas. Excuse me. Well, let's look at the trend. The trend is your friend. Until the end. And so look at the trend. We're not going to go into a recession, guys. Real estate prices are not going to drop. The floor is not falling out in this market. It is going to continue to go up. We're in an inflationary market. We're not in a recession. When prices continue to go up, less people can afford it. Less people are going to sell their homes. We only have 5,000 homes on the market in Phoenix Valley. Yeah. Our normal market is 40,000 homes. Okay. Yeah. Now, what does that do to the economy? It kind of stops the musical chairs, the buying and the selling, right?
Well, a lot of
companies, the mortgage companies,
our economy is based on debt, and a lot of our debt generation is from mortgages.
Yeah. So when we look at the affordability for millennials and younger, there's a new generation that's in.
Now's your age, I tell you.
We look at the new generations. Yeah. They're not going to be able to afford with the dollar system. They're not going to be. We're going to continue to see prices climb. They're not going to be able to afford these prices. So they're going to want a piece of the real estate market. How do they get a piece of the real estate market? Through tokenization. And we're going to tokenize the real estate assets. How do we tokenize them? Through the financial technology of giving fractional ownership so people can buy the tokens that are related to that property. And if anybody wants to take a look, it's already been done on a couple properties. They sold 2 properties down in Florida on tokens. We have one in Colorado that's still collecting investors, where you can property owners are going to want to hold on to their properties. They're not going to want to sell, and you're probably seeing that right now. And then they're going to look at how can I raise funds? If I'm not selling my property, I'm going to raise funds and get more people to own this property with me, and that is through real estate tokens.
And funny thing too is like the idea that I got is like right now we have such a competitive market in home purchasing. You get offers for loans like conventional FHA, you get all those loans. Then you'll get the all-encompass cash. Oh my gosh, how more incentivizing do you think it would be if somebody offered all in Bitcoin?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like I want to buy your home for 5 Bitcoin. And you're like, really?
Well,
you can. Does that outweigh cash?
And you can. Yeah. And so there are digital platforms right now, and yes, it does outweigh cash and how does it do that? Because we have some platforms that are already built that will allow you to tokenize your property today, and I can help you do that. You can tokenize your property. Hold on.
Lori Souza, the digital financial advisor, here with us live at RCO Network. Certified blockchain advisor. We were playing with that earlier. Sorry.
So we have it listed, and it can be auctioned to the highest bidder through the digital platform, and we have it in a form of an NFT, and you might have heard of NFTs. These are non-fungible tokens.
Yes, yeah.
And so people are putting their real estate in NFT form, putting them on the digital platform, auctioning it off to the highest bidder. So in Gulfport, Florida, back in January, we had our first NFT real estate sale, and it sold for 2,000 Ethereum.
How much? Okay, hold on.
Ethereum is
I need to get my Ethereum to dollar calculator out.
Ethereum at that time was about $3,000. It's now about 27 or 28.
See how much that house is worth now.
Yeah. So, can you buy property with cryptocurrency? Yes, you can, and there are certifications for those that are in real estate where they can become a crypto certified realtor. And so,
where do I sign up?
Well, where you sign up?
I've got my pen ready.
Well, hold on, because you don't want it to be a certification. All these businesses are brand new. Yeah. One of the things I'm working on, I did get 2 classes certified with the state of Arizona, and we're working with NAR right now to provide a new certification approved by
like
NAR.
A designation for
a designation, yes.
Yeah,
because you don't want to waste your time with a certification that if you're in real estate, you want to work with NAR's designation. So that's something I'm working on right now with them.
Yeah, I think it would be very interesting to make an offer in Bitcoin and then like have the seller look at it and be like, they're only offering 5 Bitcoin.
Only.
What is that? What is that?
Today?
What is the conversion of that? You know, whatever. You know, I'm just exaggerating.
Yeah, that'd be 200,000.
Oh, yes.
Today.
Oh, that or maybe 6 Bitcoin. Depends on the house. The median price point is about 460. Oh, yeah.
Anything under $500,000 in Phoenix is.
But I think it's in a way that'd be more incentivizing to accept that offer because again, if you believe in Bitcoin, it's really the adoption of it. You know, it's not widespread, and I think as it becomes, it's like marijuana. You know, there's this whole like hesitation about allowing it to be medical. It was just introduced as medical, and then as it became recreational, and then all of a sudden nobody cares anymore. Okay. I don't. You know, nobody cares.
All right, so today it's marijuana and cryptocurrency, but back in the 1950s, it was credit cards and alcohol.
Okay.
Think about it.
We do have some whiskey here.
It's the same objections.
Yeah.
Back then, our grandparents said, "Why would I want to use a credit card?
Yeah.
How can I get money off of this piece of plastic?" They didn't understand it. So the younger generation had to explain it to the older generation because they wanted something tangible.
Back in my day, that credit
cards weren't tangible then. Today they are for all of us because we're used to using them, and
that stupid ass chip doesn't work half the time. So. No, and it really plays into explaining. I had an event in my personal life. I had my car broken into. Oh. They stole a few things out of the car, but you know what they left? The change in the change pocket. It's like obvious. It's right by the gear shift. There was like probably about $1.50 worth of change left. It.
Yeah.
That's how valuable it is.
Up.
Yeah. I mean, it's quarter. It was a quarter. You know, remember when we were kids? Like, holy shit, a quarter. You know, screw the dime, screw the nickel. I'll take a quarter. You know, but in today's society, in today's world, money really isn't valued. I mean, even for somebody breaking into my car.
Well, not that change isn't valued. Let's restate it because there is such a thing as currency and money, right? Money is still valued, and so money can take place in different forms. Even in the metaverse that you were talking about, your green gems are worth money now. We actually have a metaverse, which is a whole nother layer of this technology that goes into where you can make money in video games now. So we're not going to go there yet.
I mean, we're already ending the show. So, I mean, there's so much I want to learn. Half the stuff I wrote down. Yeah. We didn't even talk about. So I'm hoping that you can come back, Miss Lori.
I would love to.
So I'm going to promote you a little bit here. We do have mybitcoinconsultant.com. If you head over there, right here, My Bitcoin Consultant. Follow Lori and find a little bit more information about what she does and the target, or at least the stuff that you handle, your business regarding Bitcoin advising. What is that kind of in brief detail?
Yeah, so it's a vast industry. It's picking up, lots of people getting into it, lots of entrepreneurial opportunities. So one of the things I do is consulting. I can connect people to the developers, blockchain developers. We can create an NFT. We can tokenize your properties. I can help people set up their crypto accounts. I call it a crypto banking to get them ready to have a store of value in the future. And so as people understand that this is a place that they get to hold their own money, and I call it a self-sovereign movement. Just like entrepreneurial, running your own business, you're empowering yourself to hold your own money and to be in charge of your own money and not relying on a broker.
AKA your own destiny.
Yeah. So even though, so
your own financial destiny.
Exactly. So I do the advising and consulting, and we'll go and teach classes and speak at any events on this subject.
So you are for hire. So if we can
absolutely, it's how we. I'm entrepreneur, right? So
anything for a Bitcoin, I will be there.
And I do accept Bitcoin. It's on the back of my business card now. So.
Oh dang! So again, mybitcoinconsultant.com, or find Miss Lori on her own podcast here at the Innovative Economy. I subscribe today. I am a newly subscriber to the Innovative Economy. Follow Lori and her YouTube channel and
please do.
Find out a little bit more about Bitcoin and her perspective and the things that she does.
Yeah, I'm getting up to close to 1,000. So if anybody can help me.
She's got 911. I signed up today.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
So I want to thank everybody for joining us. If you have any comments or questions, oh, look, I got to play my outro. So thank you for joining us today. Lori Souza, thank you for coming in, providing information. I hope you come back and provide a little bit more. But Rob Morales, RCO Network, here every Friday talking about finance, money, the things that you got going on as an entrepreneur. If you come back at the noon hour, roughly, we'll entertain you. Not next week. Next week I'm moving, so not this studio, but my home. So
congratulations.
I wish I would have bought it in Bitcoin, but I screwed up. I bought it in U.S. currency. So we'll catch you guys in 2 weeks. So we'll see y'all.
Bye. Thank you.